Cascade Hoops Talk, this is Billy D. Today we have Chris Kemp. He's the head men's basketball coach, Eastern Oregon University. They are the Mountaineers. Buckle up, Cascade Hoops Talks now. Cascade Hoops Talk, produced in the shadow of the beautiful Cascade Mountains and bringing the world NAIA basketball. One podcast at a time. Hey, today we have Chris Kemp, head men's basketball coach, Eastern Oregon University. Full disclosure, one of my favorite trips in the Cascade Conference is to drive up Interstate 84 out to La Grande. It's quite a long drive, but it's right up the Columbia River. It's a beautiful drive, and I'm telling you, that is a fun place to go to a basketball game. They have very, let's say, spirited fans, and it's always a great show. It's always a tough game when you're out there. And it's just one of my funnest places to go. Chris Kemp's always been a good friend of this show. I appreciate that. He, like so many teams around the country and in the conference, he's rolled the roster over, a lot of new guys. But he's also, as so many Cascade Conference teams have, they've hit the mother load, I swear, across the country, across the conference, in high school players. Chris Kemp has a couple great transfers, but he also has the 4A and 5A Player of the Year from last year's Oregon High School. So I think it bodes well for the future of the conference. All these great young players coming in. Of course, time will tell in this transfer world. But let's take a listen to, if you hear some background noise, Chris Kemp was preparing to do an event with his family. So if you hear some background noise, it's not him being rude and throwing stuff around his office. He's busy getting ready for some stuff. This is Chris Kemp, Eastern Oregon University, Mountaineers. Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Hey, I got Chris Kemp. He's the head men's basketball coach, Eastern Oregon University. They are the Mountaineers. Welcome, Coach. Appreciate you taking some time this morning.
Hey, Bill. Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, you and I were just talking. I was going through your roster, and you're kind of in that same boat that virtually not everybody, but almost everybody in the country is completely turning over their roster. You've lost every significant starter. You've had a few guys back who started some games, but boy, you really were busy come recruiting time, weren't you?
Yeah, we had a big, like you said, a lot to replace, and I think about 75 or 80% of our scoring is gone. So that made it a big deal to be, to get some guys that can help us right away. But we really like the group we got coming in, so we're excited.
Last year you had a really good team. I think you finished 18-11. It had to be a little bit frustrating because you'd win some big games. It was really hard to win in the Cascade Conference last year on the road. You won some big games and then you'd fall. You just came up a couple games short of being able to hit that magic number, get considered for a bid. Just talk about what your thoughts were of how last year ended up.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think we left a lot on the table. We had a good group and played a lot of people tough, but just need a little bit more. Honestly, a lot was on me. We lost a lot of close games. And I think it came down. We played Southern in that 4-5 game in the conference tournament, knowing that we really probably could get 4 teams in, and we probably had to win that game, and lost a close one. And then that was kind of it for us. Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about some of these guys you've brought in. But when you went out recruiting this season, knowing that, you're going to have to go through the buzzsaw of the Cascade again, what were some of your priorities as you went through to pick up guys?
Really just trying to get guys that play with IQ, that are smart, that are tough. I think that type of stuff just plays in our league. And then you got to be able to shoot at the guard spot for me. And I've just kind of noticed the players that play a lot and then that don't. It's really the IQ and the shooting that are going to, I just have trouble getting guys on the court if they can't do that. So I think we got a good mix of that, and we're excited about just some of those transfers and freshmen that we got. They're good kids and good players, good on and off the court.
A guy that I really respect his game, Kalen Torkanu. He played over at Multnomah last season. Super active guy, physical, always ball hawking. He's big enough. He's big, but he's athletic. Good rebounder. You were able to pick him up. Talk about what that means. Get a guy like that who's familiar with the Cascade Conference and has been successful in the conference.
Yeah, that was huge for us because he's a transfer, but he's already gone through that gauntlet in the Cascade and was an all conference player. He's been fun to coach. Like he wants to be coached. He's been a great teammate. He's been even better than we thought when we got him. So that's always exciting. And it was a cool deal because his wife is playing for our women's team. So we were kind of able to partner with our women's program. And that's what kind of put us over the top. Why we were able to get him is because we recruited both him and his wife. So we're excited to have him for a couple of years. His resume speaks for itself. But he, I think even more like the details and the coaching that we've been able to do with him, I think we're going to see a lot of growth in his game this year too.
And then you got Trent Rogers, a senior, coming back along with Bodley. He's a junior, but he played a ton of minutes for you last year. Also, a guy who played a ton as a freshman last season, Logan Orchard. He's coming back as a sophomore. He played almost 19 minutes a game. Those are some key returners for you, along with Porter Abrams. So you got a lot of experience coming back, just not your starters.
Yeah, so we expect a lot from those guys, and Trent and James can really shoot it and score it. Logan had to take over as a starter late in the season when we had lost some guys due to injury, so got to really throw him in the fire as a freshman. And he's taken a big jump. I think he's ready to kind of run the show for us, and so we'll see. But I think all those guys are pretty locked in their roles and have been able to bring the new guys along.
What does that mean? Whenever I talk to coaches, I always, let's put it this way. My personal opinion is a guy has to go through the conference one time and be on the road, get on the road and play all the teams to really know what it's about and be effective. And I always use your place as an example. I've seen freshmen, very, very good freshmen, wilt when the Mountaineers make a big run and that crowd get right on top of you. How much does it mean to have experience going through the because every gym is different, and some of these gyms are really, really hard to play in?
Yeah, I think it's a huge deal. I mean, you can only tell guys so much until they go experience it. And that, like I said, that kind of brings back to Keelan. We're excited to get a transfer that's done it. And again, because we lost a lot of guys, just like most people in the league. I mean, I think it feels pretty wide open because of that. So it'll be fun to see how those freshmen do and how those transfers react, because you can only tell them so much until they go do it.
Coach, have you ever, I'm trying to remember a year when it seemed like everybody, obviously Southern Oregon has almost everybody coming back. They're kind of the odd man out here. But it just seems like the roster has turned, well, it has for all the contenders. I've just never seen a season like that where so many seniors are, maybe it's the end of COVID that hit at the same time, or I don't know what drove it, but I've never seen a year like this.
Yeah, me either. Honestly, I don't remember a year like it, but I'm excited to have some of those guys from OIT and College of Idaho out of here. They felt like they were there for 10 years.
I know, it just seemed like the rosters were the same year after year after year. Coach, I've talked to a lot of fans who are just excited for, new faces across the league. It's the teams have been, the rosters have been fairly stagnant. You've went out and you got, you did some JC work. You did get a guy that caught my eye, and I'm going to butcher his name. You just told me how to say it, but this guy out of he played at Cal State East Bay, post for you, which is so critical. 6'7", 220 guy. How do you say his name? Dennis Kadirich?
Kadirich. Yeah. So he's a Seattle kid, wanted to get closer to home. We got him late as our last signing, but has been. Just more physical and better in the post than what we've had in a while. So he's fun to coach, has a ton of experience, was really productive at a national junior college in Kansas, and then went to that D2 in the Bay Area, got hurt partway through the year and kind of cut his season off. But he's been fun to get here. And like I said, we kind of lean on him just with how long he's been playing. He's been in some tough places to play, so LeGrand was doable for him.
Yeah.
And It's been great. He's been a big signing for what we get. We only get him for a year, but he's been fun to coach. I think he'll be tough just on the glass and in the post for us, which would be fun to have. Just that always makes you better.
Yeah, it'll be good to bring in another guy with all that experience, a senior, the older guy, and also somebody who can anchor that post. You picked up a couple other JC guys. You and I just went through them. Eamon, I'm going to butcher his name too. Monahan out of
Amy
Wenatchee.
Monahan. He's one of the leading scorers in the NWAC at Wenatchee College, and just a great kid. I think he'll be really good for us. Just that body type that kind of plays the wing, scored it at a really high level, was efficient. But he does so many other things that lead to winning. So, yeah, he'll be good. He should be able to help us right away. And then a couple really good freshmen, we're pretty excited about the group that we got coming in.
Yeah, I want to talk about your freshmen, but I want to, it seems like, Colby has an unbelievable class coming in. Parnell is able to bring a good class in out of Oregon. You've picked up 5A and 4A Player of the Year. It seemed like with all the transfer portal stuff, it seemed like it was not easier, but there was more top high school talent available than in past years. Is that true?
Yeah, I agree totally. I think there's just less opportunities for high schoolers with many of the low D1 or D2 guys are going for portal guys. And so just the relationship that we built with these guys and getting some freshmen I think are ready to play right away is a little bit unique and different than what we've had in years past. I think we are getting better freshmen.
Yeah, Isaiah Jones, he's just from down the road, Baker City, freshman. He was 4A Player of the Year. Baker has a long basketball history there. Talk about his game just a little bit. 6-foot freshman.
Yeah, so that was fun because both of his parents went to Eastern Oregon. They met here. He's from the area. He gave all the LeGrand people nightmares of what their high school team did to LeGrand High School for the last few years. Back-to-back state champion, and so his dad was his coach. So we've known him for a long time, and honestly recruited him for a couple years. But he's kind of a combo guard. He can really score it when he wants to. Played point guard for them in high school. I think he'll do a little bit of both for us. But just a super high IQ, high character kid, great family. So he's a fun one to coach too, and just know his family. They're just great people.
And then surprised a lot of people, including myself. We were able to pick up Cole Hammock, 5A Player of the Year out of Wilsonville, a school that's been a feeder for Oregon Tech for several years. A little bit of a surprise. How'd you get him out to Eastern? That was a huge pickup.
Yeah, he was another one we started recruiting for a couple of years, but I was kind of surprised too. But I think it was just a positional thing. They had a couple young guys at that position, and Cole's a great kid, another great family.
Yeah,
he's a true point guard, but he can really go score it when he needs to. I think he's just super skilled, and I was happy that we could get him, obviously, instead of Oregon Tech. But he's just fun to coach. He has a super high IQ and, had some really crazy games in high school. And that 5A level had a 46-point game as a point guard. And
wow.
So he's a good player.
Well, for sure, if you get a guy out of Baker or a guy out of Wilsonville, you're getting somebody who's well coached and is going to have all the fundamentals down. You're not going to have to teach them any fundamentals coming out of those programs.
Yeah, they coach them hard, and both their coaches have had a ton of success, and they do. They just know how to win, and it starts with that fundamentals, and then that's when their talent really shows through. So they've been fun to coach just for these last. We've been going about a month or so, and we'll see. We're going to throw them into the fire a little bit and see how they do.
Coach, let's talk about the conference just for a moment. I thought that, in my opinion, the Cascade Conference went through a little dip right around COVID. I think a lot of it was just in Oregon. You couldn't practice, play, get in the weight room or any for whatever reason. The Cascade Conference went through a little bit of a dip, but they've definitely pulled out of it. As you know, everybody knows College of Idaho's won 2 national championships. Southern Oregon got to the final 8 last season. Several teams get to the round of 32. Just talk about the conference and how it's rebounded, how tough it is again.
Yeah, it's it's just tough every night, even top to bottom. Honestly, I think we have really good coaches, and like you said, we did have so much experience, so many guys that have played for so many years. That's what's maybe a little bit exciting, is it feels pretty wide open now, and a lot of people have graduated. Southern obviously brought a lot back. Bushnell have pretty much, I think, all their main guys back. So it's just every night, just the mix of travel, playing back-to-backs. It's a unique challenge, especially when you go on the road to try to win games. So we'll see. It's exciting times to just, like you said, the level of play in our league is super high.
You know, one thing that I think is going to be tough for a lot of teams, well, Southern, Oregon Tech, College of Idaho, is you're going to have to make that solo trip to Warner Pacific, because Multnomah obviously is closed. That was the travel partner of Warner Pacific. I think the league, though, has done a good job with the schedule, at least giving you just a single game that weekend. But that's going to be a long way to go for one game, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it is, and you have to play your travel partner that week too, so that's unique. So we play College of Idaho on a Tuesday at home, and then we go to Warner Pacific on a Thursday, so we'll leave the day after. So it'll be a little different, a little unique. So we'll kind of see how the team reacts.
So, Coach, as you put this team together, before I let you go, what are 2 or 3 of your keys that you're really focusing on as you get your guys ready to have a good Cascade Conference season?
Yeah, I think, we just wanted to get bigger and stronger. I think we did with Keelan and Dennis, and even Eamon. We knew we needed to get a little more physical. We led the conference in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage and free throw percentage. And we need to be a little bit better defensively, a little tougher, better on the glass. So that was the goal as we went into the recruiting this year. And hopefully we did that. That's our goal. We got to get a little stronger. We got to get a little tougher on D and see if we can get some of those key stops and win some games late.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you giving us a few minutes this morning on late notice. I know you have some family plans this morning. I'm going to let you go, but we'll get a hold of you once that season starts, and we'll talk again. Of course, I'm sure I'll see you before, but I always enjoy my trip out to Eastern Oregon. That's one of my favorite places to go. I'm not sure why, but it is. As you know, I've been going there for years and years, but definitely look forward to seeing you as the season starts.
Yeah, I appreciate the time, Bill, and all that you do for NAIA basketball, and we'll be excited to see you. That won't be till the last weekend of the season. That feels like about a year away right now.
It does, doesn't it? Well, yeah, we'll talk more about that weekend, because that weekend has a high potential, but we're not going to jinx it yet.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, that's Coach Chris Kemp. He's the head men's basketball coach, Eastern Oregon Mountaineers. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, thanks a lot to Chris Kemp and to Eastern Oregon University. Next week, there's probably going to be a few more of these long-form interviews, but I'm starting to wrap them up and I might have to stop the show just for a few days. Don't worry, if you don't see one for a few days, you'll understand. I got to pivot over to the season mode, and this season, we'll see how it works, but this season I want to do a lot more of the post-game interviews and put them up in the morning when we do our wrap-up of the night before, just to make everything a little bit more relevant. We'll obviously sprinkle in some interviews as we get opportunities, but try to keep the shows from not getting too long. But anyway, just be patient over the next 2 weeks as we pivot. Also, I'll be traveling a lot in the next 2-3 weeks. But anyway, just be patient as we pivot over to season mode out of preseason mode. Hey, this is Billy D, Cascade Hoops Talk. I really appreciate everybody listening. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Please like and subscribe. Get out to your local NAIA school, because NAIA basketball is the best entertainment value in America.